Get together to celebrate many things, whether it's a wedding or somebody's birthday or somebody's graduation, or to celebrate art. It's a great excuse for a party, isn't it?
1, 2, 3, hop!
This is Buffalo, a vibrant city built on good food, great music, and a densely populated art scene. The aesthetic culture of this great metropolis is one of few limits and even fewer outlets. That's where Squeaky Wheel comes in. As a non-profit art organization, Squeaky Wheel is constantly striving to find ways to exhibit our talented population.
Well, I think Squeaky Wheel is like a really vibrant and important resource for anyone who's interested in media, whether it's watching it or making it.
And this is Meg.
Squeaky Wheel is a very unique organization. There's only a few organizations like this in a few cities around the country. Not in every town you go to, there isn't some place where you can go find low-cost equipment rental or a place to just show your work, on a Wednesday night, or, get involved in a screening, or, go down and take a class. That isn't in every town. So we're very fortunate to have that in Buffalo.
And this is Brian Milbrand.
The people of Squeaky Wheel who, day in and day out are here helping people in Buffalo make media, learn to make media from kids all the way to adults, and helping artists and, putting on great shows all year long.
My name's Jax DeLuca, and I am the Director of Programming at Squeaky Wheel. In the past 5 years, I've seen Squeaky Wheel blossom and really expand its capacity into the community, even more so than it already had. We needed a signature fundraiser event.
Peep Show is a fantastic fundraising art party that is hosted by Squeaky Wheel annually. And it's a wonderful party full of installations related to that year's theme. And it raises money to promote the media arts. This year it's Peep Show. It's complicated. So we got sort of more installations that responded to that theme of complexity.
For art to translate, it's complicated in any type of fashion that they wanted to. They could be a media installation artist, they could be a painter, a sculptor, interactive artist, a musician, a dancer.
I hope that people come away seeing the great variety of artists that we have here in Buffalo, seeing what a great organization Squeaky Wheel is, see what a vibrant media art scene there is here in Buffalo, and the passion of all of these really amazing artists, and the passion of the people of Squeaky Wheel.
Squeaky Wheel, the perfect organization to construct a celebration of Buffalo art. A place where media connections are built, skills are refined, and an abundance of outlets for our aesthetic culture are at our disposal.
People are exploring and they're curious and they're not judging things. They're there to have a good time and really appreciate what Buffalo has to offer. I think it's just a really good bridging of communities there.
I am working with Gorilla Gallery and Mad Tattoo, and we are doing a gender bender performance art through live body paint.
So warm and welcoming, and they made me feel like I could totally be a filmmaker. I took my very first video production class there. I rented equipment from them. I showed my first work at Squeaky Wheel.
I really loved working at Squeaky Wheel, like so much. If I hadn't found this organization, I would not be where I am today, that's for certain.
And it gave me a lot of encouragement and made me feel that I could really, pursue this as a career. So I have a very, very warm spot in my heart for Squeaky Wheel.
sitting next to the iSwap installation. iSwap is a inverted reality participatory performance. It's kind of like a game, it's kind of like a workshop. We designed it to be a team building workshop. So the real core ideas behind it are ideas of collaboration and team building, and also finding out things about your partners, whoever you happen to be doing iSwap with. You find out things about them, like who's the better leader, where and when your leadership capabilities arise, and maybe out of frustration or maybe out of inspiration, you see a moment and you go for it because you're like, oh, I know exactly what to do right now.
Jason, Sam, can you back up just a few feet? Thank you. All right, Mark, Tim, let him roll. White balls going into the white basket, black balls going into the black basket.
I guess the original inspiration was I was reading a book called Participation in grad school and trying to think of participatory things to do. And I had inherited a bunch of these viewfinders from an old professor, and I guess it just kind of came to me, as lame as that sounds, it happens. And the idea just kind of grew over time. I shared it with my friends Mark and Alice, and we collaborated, and the idea completely changed. So it's all of us. It's not just me. It's Mark Tomko, Alice Alexandrescu, and me. We all worked our butts off for a long time and didn't get any sleep, and the idea has expanded and become a lot more interesting than my initial concept. My initial concept was just the swapping vision, and my initial idea was more of like a mad scientist kind of shtick, but I think this works a lot better, and it's a lot more interesting and a lot more relevant.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, to give them a round of applause for accomplishing their very first mediated inverted reality motivational game here.
All right, that's the first stage. How are you feeling? Helmet and heavy or anything? Do you need it adjusted?
It's getting foggy.
Foggy, okay. Let's see if we can open that up. Maybe just give you a little breather for a second. This was our first public showing of iSwap, and I was very pleased with how it went. I think it seemed to be a crowd pleaser, and we've been playing with this for a long time, and the initial technology has been developed a while ago, so the whole swapping vision thing is kind of old for us at this point, but other people are always really excited about it. So it's good. It's kind of refreshing for us to see other people using it and getting a lot out of it. So I think it's been really good, and I think it's just going to get better as the night goes on.
Peep Show. Well, this year's theme is it's complicated.
Like, what does its complicated mean? It could mean things from Facebook, the relationship-wise, it's complicated, or it's complicated. It could be about when people are just about ready to get into this political debate. It could cover a really wide range of things.
Attend a fun event that costs a little bit less money Well, yeah, the barrier actually is directly from the title of the show, Peep Show. I want folks to actually peep in on things that they might not want to see, or moments that sort of come alive, whether, you know, if you're... I'm not a voyeur. I don't do this for fun.
Full of a place that Buffalo is for media artists, and that there was this place, Squeaky Wheel. So as soon as I moved to Buffalo, not knowing anybody, I immediately came here and started volunteering.
Various rooms here have various character to begin with. We're in the library, a meeting room. There's a bar and lounge down below. There's yet another hall below that. There's a massive ballroom upstairs. And then you go a flight above that to the balcony level, and there's yet another room for gatherings. So we'll be using many, but not all, of the spaces available here in this building. Perhaps the next round we'll fill it out, but there's some space in the basement that we're currently working on.
My favorite thing about Peep Show is just working with the artists and seeing what they have to do. And that's one of my favorite things to do, is to get artists together into a space and give them time and the space to make something. And my favorite part is seeing that happen, and then seeing the other people come in, the audience come in and see the transformation that these people have done in the space. I think that's the best part, is just having a really good time, and that people are exploring and they're curious and they're not judging things. They're there to have a good time and really appreciate what Buffalo has to offer.
Fortunate to have something like this in Buffalo, and it's really great that they're able to support the community, support filmmakers, do a lot of great outreach to high school students. I know they're doing outreach.
Everybody had a good time. Nobody got hurt. Nobody's car got broken into. Everything was working.
It's a great excuse for a party, isn't it? Art. It is. It's a great time. It's a great excuse for a party, isn't it? Art. It is. It's a great time.
Oh, Peep Show. Well, this year's theme is it's complicated.
Peep Show is something that evolved out of the Love and Sex show that Squeaky Wheel used to have at its facilities. And at one point that kind of started to grow a lot larger, I think, than what people anticipated.
There are artists in Buffalo, and it's great to see that a lot of them kind of, you know, are active and doing things. And there's some new folks here that are on the scene for the first time. I know John Bono. I think it may be his first show. So it's exciting to see that there's new people, and then there's also people that have been around a while.
Tonight they've asked me to come in, take some of what I do in my 9-to-5 tattooing world, and bring it into more of a body art experience. What we're doing tonight is playing with gender roles, masculine body forms, feminine body forms, and then kind of exuberating different paint on these different bodies.
Various rooms here have various character to begin with, so we'll be using many, but not all, of the spaces available here in this building. Perhaps the next round we'll fill it out.
That's the greatest thing about these events is people come out and then they come out and they see something that they'll never forget, because there's so many different great artists that are living in and around Buffalo making really cool things. And that's one of the twofolds of the show, is that people are also coming out and they're seeing people in the community who do know how to make really cool projects.
I'm doing the Sensor-O-Matic 9000 installation, and my name is Jeff Maciejewski. Yeah, I am actually more like a mad scientist than an artist, I suppose.
I'm not a voyeur. I don't do this for fun, but you know, if you're like, you can imagine, like if you come in on certain like moments or raw data, you can piece together kind of what's going on. But at the same time, this project's called Malfunction because it sort of is piecing together. You have the raw data, and then it just doesn't add up to really. It sort of malfunctions on its own.
Looking at the various installations, for me always makes me think. It's an opportunity to try to get inside somebody else's mind and thoughts, and look at something that perhaps you've already seen, but in a different way.
Tim Scaffidi's awesome. He'll have an installation right here. Yeah, it's eye swap. It's one where you're seeing you're seeing a perspective from your partner's vision. So it's like you're trading vision with somebody to do this puzzle, and so you have to do teamwork, but you're doing it from your partner's perspective.
Squeaky Wheel's Peep Show works well specifically because it allows people to, you know, vent and do things that they wouldn't normally do, and allows everybody to come together all at once.
And it's complicated was one that came up because it's a thing that's going on Facebook right now. If you're in a relationship, you can post that. You can post that you're single, or you can post like, it's complicated with so-and-so, and broadcast to the world that you're having relationship problems. And I think that that's a really hilarious thing that you can do that. And so basically it's just a shout out to that and all the other things that comes with that.
Art, it is. It's a great time. You know, people get together to celebrate many things. I think it's just as interesting and exciting to watch the people that are participating and enjoying the event as the event presentation itself.
Fan of Squeaky Wheel and the Peep Show. We want the Peep Show to be like a huge, wonderful thing.
Actually, I never thought there were this many cool people in Buffalo, so it's really neat to see them all under one roof at the same time.
Yes, and we need more shows like this.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's complicated. The past 2 years are the first years that we've had themes because we were trying to wean ourselves off of the Love and Sex show. because before it was all about love and sex themed installations. And then that kind of starts to get a little bit dull because everybody knows what to expect when they come in here. So once we come up with the themes, then we could start to branch out into different types of artworks, more themes. So we'll sit around a table and kind of toss around theme ideas for a long time. And It's Complicated was one that came up because it's a thing that's going on Facebook right now. If you're in a relationship, you can post that. You can post that you're single, or you can post like, it's complicated. It's also something you have with electronics and computers and our handheld devices. So it's something that kind of goes hand in hand with all of that. But Peep Show to me is just a really big art show, and it's an art extravaganza, and that's what it is for me.
So we thought It's Complicated was a great way to express, this idea of being in between in your relationship, but also, how complicated other things are too. So at this party, we have everything from something that's about the complicated sewer system in Buffalo to something about a complicated relationship. It's kind of exciting to combine this idea of media arts and cultural expression in one event.
I mean, the main thing that I hope people get from Peep Show is that they have fun, that they have a good time. I think that that's the most important thing. In order to do a good fundraiser of this level, you want people to come in, have a good time, and leave with stories, leave with these really exciting moments that happened. But secondly, definitely, I hope that people come away seeing the great variety of artists that we have here in Buffalo, seeing what a great organization Squeaky Wheel is, see what a vibrant media art scene there is here in Buffalo, and the passion of all of these really amazing artists.
This year I felt it was kind of my duty to step a little bit outside of the box and deal a little bit with current issues such as censorship. A lot of inspiration taken from the Gobstopper machine, Willy Wonka. So yeah, it's a crazy machine, does what it wants to.
Looking at the various installations for me always makes me think. It's an opportunity to try to get inside somebody else's mind and thoughts and look at something that perhaps you've already seen but in a different way.
I think that it's such a good collaboration between us and the Ukrainians because they really enjoy having us there. They're trying to raise money right now to renovate their space, and I think people want to support that because they're in there and they see how beautiful the space is and what they're trying to do.
We're hoping a lot of people come down and that it's a really great party. Myself, I will be in a closet the whole night. I never get to enjoy a bit of it.
a few years ago, we needed a big fundraising party. We needed a way to make a good amount of money that we weren't getting from government funding and that we couldn't raise through individual donations. I came up with the idea of Peep Show because it seemed like a way to talk about media, looking at things, but also to give this idea of love and sex, and to combine those two into something that would be sort of a sexy and exciting art party that people would want to come to.
Like Peep Show, if you flip through this program, you can learn a little bit about what Buffalo offers, and like we got all sorts of different sponsorships this year. So we have Buffalo Women's Services, their clinic in Buffalo that offers a wide array of services, and so they have an advertisement in here. They help sponsor the event. They put condoms out because it's February around Valentine's Day. It's very thematic there. And we got, you know, stuff about Buffalo Spree in here. They were also a sponsor. And Mad Tattoo is a local tattoo place, and the Gorilla Gallery is an underground gallery. So I think when people go through here, they learn a little bit about what Buffalo has to offer and what the artists have to offer. And I think it's just a really good bridging of communities.
There's this. There are artists in Buffalo, and it's great to see that a lot of them kind of are active and doing things. And there's some new folks here that are on the scene for the first time. I know John Bono. I think it's maybe his first show, so it's exciting to see that there's new people, and there's also people that have been around a while that have been really active for years here. And so it's nice that Squeaky Wheel and that these galleries can really support artists in that way to kind of have these events for them and get their work out there. They're an awesome organization. We're really fortunate to have something like this in Buffalo, and it's really great that they're able to support the community, support filmmakers, do a lot of great outreach to high school students. I know they're doing outreach, and it's really kind of great that they're able to sort of foster that here in Buffalo. And there's not many cities that have something quite like this, where there's cheap camera equipment. I mean, you can't really, once you get out of college, you can't really find places that'll rent you equipment. I mean, then you need production insurance, credit card. It sucks. Here it's Squeaky Wheel is awesome because they do that. They do it at a fair price.
I hope that people come away seeing the great variety of artists that we have here in Buffalo, seeing what a great organization Squeaky Wheel is, see what a vibrant media art scene there is here in Buffalo, and the passion of all of these really amazing artists. And the passion of the people of Squeaky Wheel who, day in and day out are here helping people in Buffalo make media, learn to make media from kids all the way to adults, and helping artists and, putting on great shows all year long.
I come back to my office and I start writing about like what does its complicated mean? You know, it could mean things from Facebook. You know, the relationship-wise, it's complicated, or it's complicated. It could be about when people are just about ready to get into this political debate. It could cover a really wide range of things. So when I make the call for work, I was thinking about all of that, and then I launched that out into the world. So people had about 2.5 months to send us their proposals that had to do with It's Complicated. So it's really simple, it's really broad. People could send in artwork of any type of media.
My theme for my installation is about censorship, and past themes for Peep Show have dealt with love and romance and things, and this year I felt it was kind of my duty to step a little bit outside of the box and deal a little bit with current issues such as censorship.
It's our largest call for works ever, and so we had a panel of about 8 people who reviewed the work and reviewed the proposals, saw what kind of work these artists make, and decided how the show was going to be assembled. And from there we go to the Ukrainian Center and decide how much space that we have and see if we could fit everybody. And everybody fit this year, so it seemed to work out pretty well. There was about 70 proposals. It was about 40 artists altogether.
What people should take away from it is realizing that what they put into systems sometimes, whether it's computer systems or any kind of automated systems, the output, what they receive back, is not always necessarily the same as what they thought they put into it. Like for example, let's use Facebook for example. Sometimes what you put out for other people to read is sometimes interpreted differently as the receiver. So it goes into all these like type of questions about when you put a message out, you know, is it inferred the same way as what you had originally intended? So my installation actually deals specifically with photographs. We're going to have a little photo booth set up. People's pictures are going to be taken, except when they receive the picture, it's not going to be the same as they may have remembered. I didn't go to school for installations. I didn't go to school for this kind of abstract art stuff. But it allows someone like me to do something that I had never had a venue to do before. So, you know, I could enter multiple film festivals for my films. I could go to, you know, start a million bands. I can do whatever. But Squeaky Wheel, the Peep Show, Squeaky Wheel's Peep Show works well specifically because it allows people to, you know, vent and do things that they wouldn't normally do, and allows everybody to come together all at once.
It seemed like a way to talk about media, looking at things, but also to give this idea of love and sex.
Looking at the various installations for me always makes me think. It's an opportunity to try to get inside somebody else's mind and thoughts and look at something that perhaps you've already seen, but in a different way.
Well, this is going to be called this installation is called the Sensor-O-Matic 9000. But this machine, what's going to happen is it's going to go crazy on Saturday, and participants that come in for the show are going to be able to get their picture taken right off here by the side of the machine. But the thing is, Sensor-O-Matic censors the images. It's going to alter the images, because we live in an age of censorship. It's gonna be great. I hope a lot of people participate in it. And I feel like it's a machine gone wild. It's almost like like watching like an old sci-fi film. I think we'll have smoke pouring out of it. It should be really neat. It'll be a nice little addition to the Peep Show.
The piece I'm doing here involves very little media at all. It's entitled Beyond the Multitude, Sewer Study Number 2.
The system itself is not environmentally friendly. Basically, I mean, our waterways historically have been threatened mostly by industrial waste, but the largest ongoing threat to our waterways is sewage.
That's actually the line to the sewage treatment plant, which is this right here. And then this is the line to the combined sewer flow, which flows directly to your water. We even dust off the top of the line.
Our sewer system in most old cities is what's called a combined sewer system, which means that rainwater runoff from streets and parking lots and homes and what comes off your roof gets mixed with your household sewage and drains into one large pipe. And to prevent it backing up into the street or into your house, there's an outfall pipe that handles the overflow and dumps it directly into waterways.
In the past 5 years, I've seen Squeaky Wheel blossom and really expand its capacity.
Squeaky Wheel was really encouraging to me in a time when I needed encouragement, and really supported me in the kind of media that I wanted to make.
It also works nice as like a nice little neighborhood to meet people and do fun things. Because that's the thing. It's not all nuts and bolts and like production stuff. It's like you meet friends, you make friends. You know what I mean?
Other young media makers need that kind of encouragement. Like when you're sort of not in school and you're trying to figure out what to do with yourself.
The community here is just the right size here in Buffalo that people can know each other, they can all help each other out, criticism, pros, cons, all that stuff. I like Buffalo for this type of stuff.
It's a great excuse for a party, isn't it? Art. It is. It's a great time.
Is it complicated? Is it complicated?
When you have a group show, you have all these different artists who have very different ways of looking at the theme or approaching the subject. They all each have different mediums, they have different backgrounds, and you get them all together and you get sort of like an interesting interchange between the different works happening. I am working on a performance/video installation. I'm going to have a dancer who's covered in mirrored tiles dancing in front of video projectors, so that the projections are reflected all across the room, and as she moves, they move with her, and you get sort of this like organic symbiosis of the dancer with the video.
Oh, the dildos in the water.
They're actually vibrators. The vibrators in the water.
Where did you get these dildos? In the,
I didn't. This is not me.
No, I know. Whoever got these dildos. You want condoms? You got it. In the pinky store? Beauty. But musical.
Right, steel plants, coke ovens, toxic chemicals up in Niagara Falls. And those wastes still exist in terms of storage sites. I mean, our waterways historically have been threatened mostly by industrial waste, right? Steel, but the largest ongoing threat to our waterways is sewage, because our sewer system in most old cities is what's called a combined sewer system, which means that rainwater runoff from streets and parking lots and homes and what comes off your roof gets mixed with your household sewage and drains into one large pipe. And to prevent it backing up into the street or into your house, there's an outfall pipe that handles the overflow and dumps it directly into waterways.
That's the greatest thing about these events is people come out and then they come out and they see something that they'll never forget.